Kelly Rowland arrived at the Today with Jenna and Friends studio with that familiar blend of professionalism and warmth she carried into every appearance. She had been up since dawn, rehearsing talking points, checking on her glam team, and mentally preparing for another round of press. But she didn't mind. Her new film was important to her, personal in a way most projects weren't, and she wanted people to feel the heart she had poured into it. Backstage, she chatted with crew members, laughing at a small joke someone made about the chilly studio air. Everything felt normal, almost cozy. Even Jenna, when she stopped by the green room moments before going live, seemed friendly enough, though her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. Kelly noticed it, but she brushed it off. Morning shows were hectic, maybe Jenna was just stressed. Still, the unease lingered at the edge of her awareness like a warning she hadn't yet deciphered. The countdown to air began. Kelly settled into the soft guest chair opposite Jenna's desk. The lights warmed the set, and the audience clapped enthusiastically. A camera swooped in. The energy was bright, light, cheerful. Exactly the vibe Kelly expected. The interview opened smoothly. Jenna's first questions were standard. The film's storyline, Kelly's inspiration, what it felt like to take on a role so different from her past work. Kelly answered with ease, confidence, and excitement. She watched the audience nod along, some even smiling warmly back at her. But then came the first interruption. "Oh, right, but we don't want to spoil too much." Jenna cut in mid-sentence, her tone a little too sharp. Kelly blinked, caught off guard, but she smiled past it. "Of course," she said lightly, redirecting her point. She tried again. "What I love about this project is the emotional depth." Sure, Jenna said, waving a hand. "But let's talk about something everyone's been asking." Kelly's smile tightened just a millimeter. The rhythm was off. Jenna was unusually aggressive today, not rude, exactly, but impatient, almost probing. Kelly straightened slightly in her seat. Jenna leaned forward, elbows on the desk. "Kelly, the big question people have, and don't pretend you haven't seen this online, is about your reluctance to talk about your time with Destiny's Child." The room shifted. Kelly felt it. The audience went still, the camera seemed to hover closer, and even the air felt heavier. She took a moment before answering, not to avoid the question but to choose her words with care. "I've never been reluctant," she said calmly. "I'm deeply proud of everything Destiny's Child accomplished. It's a beautiful part of my life. But I'm also in a new chapter, and I'm excited about what's ahead." Most hosts would have moved on. Jenna didn't. "But some critics say you're distancing yourself," she pressed. "Like you're trying to reinvent yourself without acknowledging what made you famous in the first place." Kelly stared at her, trying to determine whether this was a misunderstanding or a deliberate provocation. "Critics or you, Jenna?" she asked, her voice still soft but edged with unmistakable clarity. A murmur rippled through the audience. Jenna forced a laugh. "Oh, come on, I'm just asking what everyone is thinking." Kelly inhaled deeply. "Success doesn't mean staying in the same place forever. Evolution isn't erasing the past. It's building on it." Jenna's expression shifted. Barely, but Kelly caught it, a flicker of irritation, maybe even challenge. Instead of smoothing the tension, Jenna pushed further. "But you skip talking about certain years, don't you? Some fans say it feels like you're avoiding them, avoiding your origins." Kelly blinked again, slower this time. "My origins are part of me," she said. "Nothing can change that, but so is everything I've worked for since. I'm not required to stay in one story for the rest of my life." A few audience members clapped softly, uncertain if they should. Jenna interrupted again. "But isn't it fair for people to wonder if you're trying to overshadow?" Kelly held up a hand, the gesture gentle but firm. "Jenna, I'm not overshadowing anything. I'm growing, and if you're asking whether I'm ashamed of where I came from, the answer is absolutely not. I celebrate it, but I won't be boxed into it." For a moment, neither woman spoke. The silence was electric. Then Kelly's expression shifted. Small, subtle, decisive. She removed her mic pack from the back of her dress. The movement was graceful, controlled, deliberate. "I think we're done here." The audience gasped aloud. Jenna's face drained of color. A producer off camera flinched. But Kelly didn't look back. With steady steps, heels clicking sharply across the glossy studio floor, she walked off the set, leaving behind a stunned host, a breathless audience, and a moment that the internet would replay thousands of times before noon. Backstage erupted the moment Kelly disappeared behind the curtain. Producers scrambled around like startled birds, headsets buzzing with overlapping instructions and panicked questions. Assistants darted across the hallway, some carrying clipboards, others clutching their phones as notifications exploded across their screens with real-time reactions. The director shouted for a backup segment. A stage manager swore under her breath. Someone knocked over a tray of coffee cups. In the center of the chaos, Kelly walked calmly, her posture tall, her expression unreadable. The heels that had echoed powerfully across the stage moments before now sounded like a metronome of controlled defiance. She moved with the steady grace of someone who had made a choice, and was standing firmly in it. Her publicist, Dana, rushed toward her, breathless, eyes wide. "Kelly, what on earth happened out there? I turned away for 1 minute and suddenly the internet's on fire." Kelly let out a slow exhale. She pushed a line, "Dana. And I'm done letting people do that." Dana blinked, processing. "Are you okay?" "Better than okay," Kelly said, surprising even herself with the honesty in her voice. "I feel free." Despite the whirlwind around them, there was a striking stillness in Kelly's demeanor. Years of biting her tongue, of politely absorbing jabs disguised as curiosity, of smiling through belittling questions, it all felt heavy in hindsight. But that weight had lifted the moment she took the mic off. Dana checked her phone again. "It's everywhere already. Twitter's split in half. Some people are calling you a queen. Others are asking what you meant. And Jenna," Kelly raised a hand. "I don't want to talk about Jenna." Dana nodded, respecting the boundary. Meanwhile, back on set, Jenna was unraveling. She clutched a stack of cue cards she no longer seemed able to read. Producers surrounded her, whispering frantically, suggesting a quick apology, a soft pivot, something, anything, to salvage the segment. Jenna's face was flushed, eyes darting toward the edge of the stage where Kelly had walked away. When the show cut back from an emergency commercial break, Jenna forced a shaky smile. "We had a little misunderstanding with our guest earlier," she said. "Kelly Rowland is an amazing artist, and we appreciate." Her voice wavered, and she cleared her throat. "But, things got a bit heated. Live television, you know." She attempted a laugh, but the tension strangled it midair. The audience didn't buy it. Twitter didn't buy it. No one did. Clips of the confrontation had already gone viral. Fan accounts uploaded slowed-down versions. News outlets wrote first-impression headlines. Commentators started stitching reaction videos. Kelly checked her so gracefully. Jenna was out of pocket. This is exactly why celebs avoid morning shows. Some viewers defended Jenna, insisting she was just doing her job, but the overwhelming majority sided with Kelly. They saw the microaggressions, the repeated interruptions, the dismissiveness. They felt the shift in the room the moment the interview turned hostile. Back in the hallway, a young production assistant, barely 23, holding a stack of papers too heavy for her arms, hesitated before approaching Kelly. "Ms. Rowland," she said nervously. Kelly turned, softening immediately at the girl's timid expression. "Yes, the assistant swallowed hard. "I just wanted to say, I think you were right to stand up for yourself. We all saw what happened." Kelly smiled gently. "Thank you. That means a lot." The girl nodded, relieved, and hurried away, cheeks flushed. Kelly stepped outside into the brisk mid-morning air, taking a deep breath. The city hummed, oblivious to the online storm brewing. Paparazzi spotted her instantly, cameras clicking like rapid-fire dominoes. They shouted questions. "What happened? Are you upset? Will you apologize?" But Kelly didn't respond. She walked calmly, sliding into her SUV with practiced elegance. Inside the car, away from the noise, she closed her eyes for a moment. The silence felt good, refreshing, necessary. Dana slid into the seat beside her, still typing furiously on her phone. "Your team's already drafting a statement," she said. "But if you want to ignore everything for a few hours, I fully support that." Kelly chuckled softly. "Let's see how the day unfolds." When she reached home, her phone buzzed nonstop. Friends, fellow artists, and colleagues texted her, "You handled that beautifully. Proud of you. They had no right to talk to you like that." Even fans sent long messages filled with encouragement. Kelly sat on her couch, tea warming her hands, scrolling through the messages with a small, reflective smile. She hadn't walked off for drama. Not for headlines. Not for ego. She walked off because she finally refused to shrink herself to make someone else comfortable. By the end of the day, the world wasn't debating if Kelly was right. They were talking about how gracefully she stood up for herself. And as Kelly leaned back, feeling the quiet peace of her home wrap around her, she realized something important. She hadn't just reclaimed her voice. She had reminded everyone, including herself, that it was never lost.